Hello and welcome to Grammar Bites. In this video, we'll look at the past perfect simple and the past perfect continuous. We use the past perfect simple to show that one action happened before another action in the past. By the time I arrived at the station, the train had just gone. Let's put this example on a timeline. In the past, I arrived at the station, but before I arrived, the train had just gone. The train had just gone shows the first action that happened before, and I arrived at the station shows the second action that happened later in the past. So I use the past perfect for the action that happened first. Let's look at more examples. I had read the book before it was adapted into a movie. Reading the book happened first, so I use the past perfect simple. The books being adapted into a movie happened later, so it is the second event. That means reading the book had happened before it was made into a movie. The past perfect simple is made with had plus past participle, which is verb 3. We can make positive sentences such as he was tired because he had been to a party the night before. We often use the contracted form, especially when speaking. He was tired because he'd been to a party the night before. We make negative sentences with hadn't. They hadn't come back home until late. And the questions are made as in this example. Where had she put her bag? We can use the past perfect simple for repeated actions that happened before another action. For example, he had trained for years before he became the world champion. With a series of actions, we usually only use had with the first action. He had got on the train, put his luggage on the rack, and taken a seat before he realized he didn't have a ticket. If the actions happen very close to one another in time, don't use the past perfect, especially with after, before, and when. Use the past simple instead. After he got out of the car, the police arrested him. The baby woke up before I could put her in the crib. He was surprised when he opened the door and saw a housewarming gift on the floor. The adverbs just, already, by the time, and never are often used with the past perfect. I went to visit him after he just had the accident. Just means a very short time before the specified time. He was too late, the train had already left. Already means before the specified time. She had recorded her first single by the time she was 10. By the time means before a specific point in time. I'd never met anyone from the US before I met Sam. Never means at no time before the specified time. We use the past perfect continuous for an action in progress in the past up to the time another action happened. She had been working here for 30 years before she retired last week. Let's put this example on a timeline. She retired last week. Before she retired, she had been working here for 30 years. We emphasize that her working here was the action in progress, and it had happened before her retirement, which happened later in the past. The past perfect continuous is made with had been plus verb ing. We can make positive sentences such as he was tired because he had been working all night the day before. We can make negative sentences with hadn't been. They hadn't been working for long before they took a break. And the questions are made as in this example. Where had she been living before she moved here? We can use the past perfect continuous to give the cause of a past action or situation. She was tired because she had been studying for hours. Janice lost weight because she had been exercising regularly. We often use the adverbs for and since with the past perfect continuous. He'd been living in the UK for 9 years before he finally got British citizenship. The scientist who won the prize had been working on his research since 2018. The past perfect simple focuses on completed actions, but the continuous focuses on the duration of an activity. For example, they had painted the wall before the furniture was delivered. Here, the focus is on the completed action. They had been painting the wall for hours before the furniture was delivered. Here, the focus is on the duration of the action. We can often use both tenses with no real difference in meaning. So we can say, they had lived in Germany before they moved to France, or they had been living in Germany for 5 years before they moved to France, without much difference in meaning. Now it's your turn. Please check the link below for extra practice. Goodbye.